Hello and welcome to the Amir and Marcos Maidana review. So Amir and Marcos Maidana fought in 2010 for Amir WBA light welterweight title. Amir had defeated Amir in 2009 to capture the belt, and he successfully defended it against the likes of Demetrius Lee in a one-round knockout. But many people, including myself, thought Amir hadn't really beaten anyone significant in his career up to date, or no one who had really a dangerous threat or any credibility about him. That's where Marcos Maidana, who had captured the WBA interim belt and defended it a few times, so obviously he was the #1 ranked contender for Amir Khan's belt. So Amir Khan agreed to fight Marcos Maidana obviously at the end of 2010. So Amir Khan had been knocked out a few years before by Bradley Prescott when he was at lightweight division in 2008, and he'd been knocked down a few other times as well in his career. So obviously everybody knew about Amir Khan's weakness, which obviously was his chin. And when people like to fight on the inside, he's not very good at that. Obviously, classic example was the Prescott fight, where obviously he traded and he obviously lost out straight away, wrong tactics. And even there's a few fights, I think he fought Kenny Anderson, could be wrong, that was a few years back in lightweight division, for the Commonwealth lightweight belt, and he just got battered on the inside, and luckily he stopped him in the end, using his speed and his power. So obviously Amir Khan, in that sense, isn't the most cleverest fighter when it comes to fighting on the inside, but when he fights at distance, uses jab, his speed, combinations, obviously it works well. Like classic example, 2010, before the Marcos Maidana fight, he did fight Paulie Malignaggi in his American debut, and he did dominate Malignaggi for the majority of the fight, using speed, distance, combinations, obviously using his reach as well, which is obviously one of his obviously bigger factors. So when Amir Khan agreed to fight Marcos Maidana, it was a great fight because Maidana had a great reputation of a big puncher, rugged, tough fighter for Argentina. So you knew obviously this was going to be a tough fight for Amir Khan because he had never fought anyone like Marcos Maidana up until obviously this point, and same with Maidana. Yeah, he's fought some incredible opponents like Victor Ortiz, who obviously was up and coming light welterweight fighter at the time, DeMarcus Causley, who was a journeyman probably now, but he was still a tough fighter. Fought the likes of Floyd Mayweather, so you knew he was a credible opponent, and Marcos Maidana knocked him out. So it's going to be a great fight because go clash of styles. Amir Khan, like I said, was the fast, quick boxer with the speed, movement, combinations, the reach. So obviously he had all that as advantages on his side. Disadvantage obviously is not as strong as Maidana because of punching power and probably toughness and maybe durability, because who knows obviously what it was like obviously going down to the stretch. Would Amir Khan's speed be the factor, or would Marcos Maidana's power be the factor? So obviously it was a good clash of styles, and I was looking forward to obviously seeing this fight because obviously Amir Khan brings excitement to his fights. He always starts fast, so obviously he gives fans the money's worth for his fights. Same with Maidana. I didn't really know much about him before this fight, and I had to go over obviously on YouTube and look at a few fights. Obviously the one that stands out for me before this fight was the Victor Ortiz fight. He got knocked down a few times, so obviously you can tell he can get knocked down. He's not like invincible, he's not like made of like steel, but he obviously showed his toughness and obviously like his durability to obviously come back and knock out Victor Ortiz, stopping him in the 6th round. So when this fight did come about, it was good obviously test for Khan, because if he did beat Maidana, then he could obviously go on and maybe unify the light welterweight titles and obviously cement his claim to be one of the best in the light welterweight division. So when the fight did eventually start, it was Amir Khan obviously, as most people do know, he was a fast starter. And obviously look at the Demetrius Lee fight, knocking him out in round 1, and he always has a knack of starting fast. Obviously his trainer Freddie Roach obviously had a good style with him as well. The quick punches and punches, obviously moving away, keeping the distance, don't stand on the ropes, don't trade, just stick to what you know and just stay away from obviously Maidana's powerful punches. So round 1, Amir Khan obviously, like I said, started fast, knocked him down, and with a good wicked body shot in the last 10 seconds of the round. Maidana was really badly hurt, struggled to get on his feet, and he nearly finished him off, but the bell obviously rung to end the round. Same with the second and third round. Amir Khan dominated Maidana with the speed and combination and distance. Maidana did have a few punches coming in the 3rd round, and slowly towards the middle of the fight, 4th, 5th and 6th round, Maidana started getting into the fight, landing punches, body shots, stopping the distance between Maidana and Khan, so gradually slowing the gap He did get a point deducted so for an elbow that was aimed at Khan but hit the referee Joe Cortez. So obviously it was kind of in Khan's favour. And then eventually after that patch where Khan did go for a rough patch spell, obviously in the fight where Maidana gradually got back into the fight, he then started dominating. Well, not dominating. He started showing more of the earlier round stuff, throwing his combinations again. But then because obviously the tide had turned in the later obviously rounds before that, it was kind of more of a back and forth fight. Maidana would have spells where he'd do good. Khan would do spells obviously would have spells where he'd be good as well. So it was a good back and forth fight. So gradually into obviously championship rounds, the 10th, 11th, 12th round. In the 9th and the 10th round, Maidana hit Khan with a massive right hand, catching and flushing the chin. Amir Khan got wobbled badly, really badly hurt. Somehow survived the round, but in my eyes, he could have got knocked out because Joe Cortez did stop Amir Khan. Sorry, not stop him, he did help him, because there was a point in the fight where Amir Khan was badly hurt on the ropes and Cortez jumped in because obviously they're grappling, which in my eyes obviously is kind of a early stoppage, because Amir Khan obviously might have obviously been knocked out, he might have gone down, who knows what might have happened, but I think Joe Cortez was too fast to get in there, where other referees like Steve Smoger would have let him fight, and Amir Khan probably would have lost the fight, because you never know, he might have been knocked down, or he might have taken more damage, and if it was Steve Smoger or a different referee, who knows what might have happened. But obviously in my eyes, Joe Cortez, yeah, he was doing his job, but he jumped in too early, and he did break up Maidana when he was going to do obviously work in the more significant parts of the round. So Amir Khan did get out of the 10th round, 11th round, the same sort of thing. Amir Khan wasn't as hurt as much as it was in the 10th round, but still managed to obviously get out of it. Gradually throwing a few combinations to obviously get back in the fight. But obviously by this point, Amir Khan was, in my eyes, he was winning the fight. So as long as he survived the fight, it was the last round as well, he would have won. So he did eventually get into the 12th round, final round. Again, obviously Amir Khan was still showing signs of that big punishment from round 10, but he managed to get a big combination in the last 30 seconds of the round, probably winning the 12th round. So Amir Khan did win the fight, and retaining his WBA light welterweight title. It was a good fight, because the most really exciting fight, obviously, like I said, with Amir Khan dominating the majority of the fight. Maidana obviously did have his big moment in round 10. Didn't really get the chance to finish off Amir Khan because of Joe Cortez. But obviously, if you go back and look at the fight, just obviously express your own opinions. People obviously think he should have done it. People think he shouldn't have done it. In my view, obviously, I think Joe Cortez shouldn't have jumped in as early as he did, because obviously I said different referees obviously have different styles of refereeing the fight. I said Steve Smoger, for example, probably wouldn't have stopped the fight that early. He probably would have let Amir Khan and Maidana fight on. And obviously, if it was really, really bad, he probably would have stopped the fight. So obviously Amir Khan did get lucky in that time. So obviously, just sometimes when it happens to these sort of in these big fights, the champion does get maybe a bit more leeway than the challenger. But obviously, it doesn't always necessarily mean that in every single big fight. But then again, Amir Khan got the win. A win's a win, and he did obviously beat a tough fighter, Marcos Maidana, giving him obviously a second loss, I think, because he has gone on to lose against Mayweather, and also he lost to obviously Devin Alexander as well in 2011, a welterweight normal bout. So he has been exposed against boxers, and you have to give Amir Khan credit. He did the job. Yeah, you never know with the outcome of round 10 if he might have been knocked out, or he might have been seriously badly hurt. And Freddie Roach did say in a later interview that he was thinking about stopping the fight after the 10th round, because Amir Khan did take a lot of punishment. But credit to Roach, he obviously did let Amir Khan fight on, and he got the victory. So a lot of that was obviously proved wrong because of Amir Khan's toughness. He took Marcos Maidana's best shots regardless of the referee, and he managed to get at the end of the fight and get the win. So Amir Khan went on to fight Paul Makowski in London. Even though it wasn't a great performance, he got the win, and then he unified the titles against Zab Judah for the IBF light welterweight titles, and he became unified light welterweight title holder in 2011. Marcos Maidana went up to welterweight division. I told you obviously previously that he lost to Devin Alexander. Obviously there's kind of like seesaw sort of career mode for Maidana at that point, but obviously he did get his career back on track eventually. obviously beating the likes of Andre Broner in late 2013, but gradually he picked himself back up, obviously, like I said, hiring the trainer Robert Garcia, and obviously now he's got his career back on track, and obviously seen as one of the best welterweights in the division at this current time. So it was a great fight, and I would advise you to watch it as well. I would leave a link, obviously, in the description, but I'm not sure what the copyrights laws are for obviously doing that, so I won't. But obviously, you've got to type in, just type in Amir Khan Marcos Maidana full fight on YouTube, and you'll find it easily. This has been my Amir Khan Marcos Maidana review. I'll see you in my next video.